It's not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent. It's the one that is most adaptable to change, said Charles Darwin. Sometime between the years 1000 and 1600, a group of people known as the Moriori left their home in New Zealand and their kinsmen, the Māori, and set sail heading east into the great unknown. For days and days, sailing across a stormy ocean, they did not pass a single speck of land. Finally, after 500 miles, they spotted some distant islands on the horizon. The travellers named them the Rakuhu, or Misty Sun. Today, these are known as the Chatham Islands. These rocky outcrops on the edge of the world will become their home. Unlike the moist, warm environment of their former home, well suited to growing food for a large population, Rakuhu was an inhospitable land, only capable of supporting a couple of thousand people. Life was hard and often short. There was only just enough to eat. The Moriori had to adapt. Thus, the Moriori renounced warfare and agreed to cooperate with one another. They adopted a form of pacifism they called Nunuku's Law. They embraced a hunter-gatherer culture on their tiny island because it couldn't support crops of any kind and shared what they gathered amongst their community. The Moriori had been used to resolving disputes with violence, even death, but being so remote and with such a small population and only the simplest of weapons, it became apparent they needed to resolve disputes in another way. If physical conflict was truly necessary, it was agreed that men could hit one another with taperau, poles the widths of a man's thumb and a couple of feet in length. But the moment blood was shed or skin broken, they were obliged to stop. It was these and many other cultural changes that allowed the Moriori to survive for hundreds of years on this inhospitable outcrop. In 1835, 500 Maori made the journey from New Zealand to the Chatham Islands. Here they met the Moriori. The Maori, armed with guns and axes, proceeded to slaughter the Moriori like sheep. In just a few days, most of the Moriori population had been killed. Some of those who were killed were also cooked and eaten, a Maori custom common to mainland disputes over control of crops and farmland. Those who had not been killed were enslaved, separated from their families, and prohibited from marrying. The Moriori and the Maori, with the same culture and language, were once virtually identical. But in the space of only a few hundred years, the Maori had become adept at fighting, while the Moriori mastered pacifism. The story of the Moriori demonstrates the significant impact our environment has on our culture. The culture of both communities was shaped by the need to survive, to adapt to their surroundings, and to make the most of the available resources. It is a story that is often used as an example of determinism, which is the theory that all events are completely determined by previously existing causes, the opposite of which is free will.